Hey everyone, it's me, Nate Kalima, out here in Los Angeles, California. We have an exciting call for y'all today. I have I have such a great health testimonial of myself, and we have some incredible testimonials that have been coming across here in my desk, and we have some incredible updates as well. So, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to Ion for the T10 products because it has changed my life. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I have lost a total of 16 pounds so far. I was 226 when I came from the Philippines, and I decided to start my diet when I came back. I wasn't perfect at it in the very, very beginning, but when I got a little bit more serious, I lowered the carbohydrates, made a lot of bone broth and things like that, a lot of organ meats and healthy foods. I always take my Ion products. I always have, you know, cup of black coffee in the morning, and I try to do my best to stop eating by a certain time and so on and so forth, and have some very minor exercise. I'm gonna start exercising a little bit more because I know this is gonna plateau a bit. But with the 15-day cleanse, I lost an incredible amount of waste that I accumulated while I was in the Philippines. And then so what happened after that is that I started going with my diet, and now I'm 16 pounds less. And so essentially it's all about that. And I actually spent a lot less money when it came to my grocery shopping because I'm eating a lot less. I'm feeling a lot less hungry. It's always the first few days, which is pretty hard. However, now I feel incredible. My skin feels incredible. It's getting better and better every single day. And I take all the Ion products. It's absolutely incredible that we are able to have these kind of results in a short period of time thanks to Ion. And so I also brought on board a new person named, I think, Edgar Garcia. And he's been giving me, he actually said I think he's about, I don't know if I'm able to say his weight, but I've been following up with him for the last 2 or 3 days. He's out here in Southern California, but he spends some of his time in Mexico because he's here just temporarily. And he said he's been losing the bloat and he's been losing a lot of those kind of weight. And so we're excited to get him to master. And that's going to be very, very exciting. So if we're going to have a lot more health testimonials, we also, by the way, I believe we have a Wednesday night call when it comes to health. I'm excited to start getting onto that call and participating on it. So I really recommend getting onto that call and learning more about the products and so on and so forth as we talk about the business. Now that we've talked about that, we'll also talk about what's happening next for Ion. And so it's absolutely exciting times to see how Ion is transforming into such a global presence, and especially with the new Ion Skin division that is launching probably in the next few, who knows, but it's going to be sooner than later. And everything I say, Eric Caprisi, the CEO, has been posting about it. So, I won't say anything that Eric hasn't already put up there, or Banny Holcomb. And so it's incredible is that we're going to do everything. We're now an ecosystem where you take care of the inside and the out. I feel great losing that 16 pounds. And so I'm going to lose another, I believe, 20 pounds. My normal weight's around 180 at 6 foot tall. I start at 226. I'm 209, 210-ish right now. So I got about a good 20 or 30 pounds left to go. And I'm raring to go and is excited to do that. And I do it all 100%. I'm using 100% Ion supplements and black coffee. And the rest is just diet. So, if I can do it, you can do it too. But the best thing about this is that the T10 products have been an incredible legacy products. It has been a game changer, around the same price as Amazon. Fantastic pricing, free shipping. That's a game changer. It's unbelievable. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about also is in a little bit, because I know some of y'all are excited about the Ion Skin and how that's going to be our ultra luxe and our upscale market, and so on and so forth. So I'm excited to talk about that in a little bit. But the key is that we need to understand that the T10 line is always going to be a great baseline. It seems like it's a dichotomy, right? You have one line, the T10, which is a value-based type product, and you have an ultra luxe line, which is Ion Skin. And so the way that you do it is that you essentially have to show the whole ecosystem, but some of y'all will be concentrating on a particular marketplace. Me, I'm going to be concentrating a lot on the Ion Skin simply because what it does is that it gives us a type of marketplace where people in that marketplace, people are willing to spend, four figures to make sure that their outward appearance is phenomenal. And it doesn't stop there because the T10 line or the Ion Savings line will continue to expand in the future. I'm pretty confident about that. But see, that's the thing is that products will always be coming in, will create more excitement and so on and so forth. But the double key is here is that with the products that we have right now, we can be $1 billion company with the products right now. Once again, Edgar Garcia just came on board not that long ago. Just been trying to get a testimonial with the product and says today, he hit me up on Messenger that it's just phenomenal how much weight that he's lost and the bloating has subsided significantly. Now, if we can duplicate those testimonials times 10, you have a winner. Now, I do know though that sometimes influencers, we have the fitness ones, they're going to start coming on board more often. But I know also that people love skincare. We know that. We know people love the ultra luxe look. We know that people like it's evidence of the growth of LVMH. And if you don't know what LVMH is, it's Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. And so when it comes to that, that growth market is showing. And what we always say is this: why don't you just look at the trends that are going on? What I used to say is not just look at the trends, but go through your local mall. Okay. What is trending more? Here in California, I'm going to give you guys an example. What's really trending is whenever all these malls, the ones that are dying have not changed with the trends. You know what malls are growing? It is the malls here. We have one in Century City, full of people, and that's considered a luxury style mall. Now, how is that? You have a luxury style mall that's growing when some of the others are not growing as much, or the ones that haven't changed. And it just shows that there's a lot of things going on in not only our economy, but it shows the tastes of people and what people desires, that they want quality, that they want incredible stuff. But one thing I do notice with these luxury malls, there's always a new gym. So, gyms weren't as attached, maybe 10 years ago, weren't as attached to the malls here as that they used to be, as they are now. So health is really important because that's been a trend with a lot of influencers. And not only health, it's your outward appearance or skincare, feeling luxurious when you go out. Because when you're at home, you want to feel good, you want to look good, and so on and so forth. And when you go out, you want to have some incredible skincare and you want to feel luxurious while you do it. You want to feel like you've had an experience. And so when you have those two and you combine those two, guess what? You have magic. And that's what it's all about. And from what Eric has already posted, I mean, we have some exclusive things coming. We have incredible designs coming. If you only knew just how incredible we are planning those things. And then the Ion gear, they're going to be fantastic. You're going to want to wear this all the time. And as we build a culture, especially with home meetings, and some of y'all will be trying the skincare in your own home. You'll be trying the skincare at your friends' homes, and you'll be trying the products and so on and so forth. Guess what? We're going to dominate. We're going to be world class. Why? It's because of the testimonials that we have. The more testimonials we have, the more we'll attract. When I post about the Ion Skin, I've noticed if you look at my recognition when I talked about the Ion Skin on Facebook, see, it's not really about the recognition for me. It's who we're attracting when I'm posting these things. One of them, Minta, she owns a Beverly Hills med spa in Huntington Beach and Beverly Hills. So two very upscale areas. She's right on the beach there. And so it tells me something. It tells me that we're bringing in two markets. You're bringing in a market that's catering to the ultra luxury, and you'll have people, you might be asking, there's people out there that or if it's not just you know someone, you're always 1 or 2 degrees of separation from somebody who will buy this kind of products. If you don't think there's a market for it, look at the statistics. Look at your own luxury malls. They are selling this. They are selling stuff. There are skincare products I saw for only 2 ounces. They're selling for $300 or $400. My friend just posted about this skincare here in LA, and I looked at the pricing, and it's unbelievable. And people are buying it. They're buying sets. Why? Because they like skincare. They want sometimes they want the quick fix. Sometimes that quick fix is good because it leads to the long-term change. Because unfortunately, with today's generation of TikTok and the Instagrams and the social media, people want something instant. And that's why with the T10 line, the cleanse is so powerful because it gives you instant results while you get the habits. So you can take the beetroot every single day, you take the energy every single day, you take the greens, the collagens, and so on and so forth. I notice my skin is getting better and better. It's, I don't know if you can see it, but it is shining and I'm just flabbergasted how much your body can change in just a week or two when you make the right choices. And those right choices is to respect your body and, take the ion products and treat it like a temple, right? You got to do what you got to do. And now imagine that with our ion skin products coming out. And yes, there's a market for that. You're going to have people who are into the luxury market and they don't care what price it is as long as it works. And here's the thing is that, sometimes there's an example. And I actually posted this. I don't know if you saw it. Some of y'all will be seeing this in the replay. So there was this store called Payless. Some of y'all young folk, you Gen Z, you Gen Alpha. Yeah, that's the new term for so Gen Alpha. The young folks may not know what Payless shoe stores are, but it's where everyone went to get their church shoes when we were younger. And so Payless, the average shoe there is probably 16 to $39. And they did a social experiment. So they took the same store, which was Payless Shoe Store. They changed the exterior. They dressed everyone in all black and they changed all the interior design, not too much. They just changed a few things, the boxes, not Payless, and they called it Palessi or Paylessi. I don't know how they're pronouncing it, but it was Palessi, Palessi. And then they invited a bunch of influencers. And here's the incredible part. The $39 shoes, they were now selling it for over $600. And they have so many testimonials of everyone when they're at the register saying, "Oh, I would easily pay $400, $500, $600 for these shoes." And that's the thing. That's perception and that's marketing. And that's how, with the right marketing, you can absolutely create a fortune in the next 6 to 12 months. Why? Because the T10 line is an incredible line. Let's get healthy. And, we have to participate in our own rescue. If someone throws out a life raft, you got to grab onto it. And Ion's the same way. When we introduce people to Ion, you got to grab onto it. And you never know. Once you're a master, you get those infinity coded bonuses. You might find someone who will take it to the moon. My mentor, that's what happened with him. He was, I think, 36 or $39,000 into debt. He's been in 12 direct sales companies. 5 or 6 of them failed before he was able to succeed. And then, you know what? He found one company. It was a coded plan. He just sponsored one person a month. That's all he did because he wasn't the greatest recruiter. And he just kept doing that and kept doing that. And once he was, I think, in the maybe second or third code, what happened is that he sponsored someone in New Mexico who led to 50,000 customers. Imagine that, because he didn't quit. He just kept doing it over and over and over again. It changed his business and it changed the company forever. And since then, he's now has a home, what he says, home in the mountains, home on the Las Vegas Strip, and home on the ocean. And so can that happen here? It's not a guarantee, but of course, it's definitely possible if you work hard, if you become a testimony of the product, because everyone always, there's always someone in a worse situation than you. Unfortunately, there always is. And so it's up to you to take your situation and turn it around, just like if you ever watch The Pursuit of Happiness, right? The Pursuit of Happiness. And for some of y'all, remember, I was a very introverted person. I had to get over that, and it took years to get over that. But I stuck around, and I'm glad I did, because everyone thinks that I was like this when I was younger. Absolutely not. I was not like this. I was very shy to talk to people. I didn't want to call people. I didn't want to do home meetings. I didn't want to do those things. And I had to have leaders get me out of my comfort zone. And eventually, they're just like, "Hey, you got to do a home meeting. You got to show the VHS. You got to do these things." And you know what's incredible? The more I got over my fear, the more income rose. The more I became a product of the product, the more I had something I believed in, the more everything grew. And that's what you're going to see when it comes to both of these. Oh, and the Ion Skin, I mean, some of y'all are just really passionate about it. That's the thing about pricing and marketing. Sometimes it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. For example, if you put a mom and pop coffee shop next to a Starbucks, guess where the lines probably be the longest? The Starbucks. Why? Because people are just brand loyal. Yeah, the coffee might be 50 cents at the mom and pop, but once you've gotten used to it, and they did a survey where they said Apple and coffee, this was Starbucks was considered a luxury item, and it made people feel better about their situation. Now, is that always the most smartest and logical thing to do, especially if you're not in the right financial situation? No, but that's just how it is. People want to feel like they're better. And so we don't not just give them the situation to have, say, the ion skin and that ultra lux experience, but we give them a pathway and an opportunity to change their situation. And we do that through not only Ion, which is the greatest compensation plan I've ever seen, the most giving, and we also add self-development and personal development. If you are not doing self-development every single day, this is why you're probably not growing as the way you think. But why? Because I do at least 5 to 15 minutes of self-development every single day. I listen to Jim Rohn. I listen to these people. And it's not even just about the books, because I believe you can get a lot of great knowledge by just listening on your phone. I have so much knowledge that I need 2 phones. No, I'm just kidding. But one doesn't work as much anymore. But the key is here is that I listen to testimonials. I listen to those 5 minute, what's it called? I have programmed my Instagram feed to not have junk food. What do I mean? If I see some stupid thing on my Instagram feed, I put hide and mute. That's how I've changed my mindset. Some of y'all need to change what you're seeing on social media. When I see something negative, when I see someone posting stupid stuff all the time, junk food's okay sometimes, but I don't want to see it all the time. And I notice now my feed, of course, is going to start showing me places in Monaco and Paris and in Asia and these fantastic places that I really want to visit one of these days. And they'll show me high fashion. They'll show me the engagement. They'll show me people doing stuff. And it motivates me because it says to me, there's other people doing what I want to do. And so it just tells me it's possible. Well, that's the key, y'all. It's possible. So some of y'all need to get on to your social media and reprogram it so that way you're mentally conditioning yourself for success. And the more you get into success, the more you can let go of things which are negative, the more you can get away from things which are not giving you into the best mood and the bright mood, and get into the self-development. That is what's really, really important, because, a lot of us have a lot of things going on in our life. And I completely understand that. And so the only thing that we can do and the only thing that we can affect are the things that go on in our own life. And Jim Rohn, I said this before, but man, it is so powerful. Jim Rohn said he thought he had to change his mindset of, if you got to do something for me, I do something for you, and so on and so forth. No, self-development is I work on me for you. I work on my self-development for you. And part of that is essentially getting on and listening. Why? Because that listening to the right audios will get you 10 times better. It'll get you 10 times more healthier. And if the healthier you get, the more productive you get. I guarantee it. You wake up earlier, you sleep later, you feel more refreshed. It sucks the first few days, but the more you get into health with the Ion T10 products, the better it will be. And the more that we start participating in our own rescue, not only with our business, but our health, the more effective you'll be in other parts of your life. And yes, we all have problems. We all have things going on. It's just how we acknowledge them. Some people say react, some people say acknowledge, and so on and so forth. But remember that things happen to every single one of us. It is up to us to participate in our own rescue and do something about it. And sometimes it'll take longer than other people, and that's okay. Never compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Never compare your chapter 10 to someone else's chapter 100. And remember, you only have to be right once. I always look back at my friend's story. And if you want a great story, I'll tell you the story of one of my mentors. I mean, he in a coded plan, and there's just no guarantees. There's nothing like that. He was making over $1 million a month for 18 months. And it's an incredible story because he would tell people like, hey, he was a Kentucky football coach, or I think it was one of the sports. And so, he got involved in a telecom company the other day. It was a coded plan too, and so on and so forth. And, he just kept on trying to build it and kept trying to build it on a part-time thing. And, he never broke $1,000 in a month. And so, and remember, in that plan, it was a little bit different. And so, I mean, that was maybe 4 or 5 people coming into the organization who gathered customers. It wasn't a ton of people at the time. And so he just continued on and on. And then eventually he started doubting himself. Other people started doubting him. And he said, you know what? I got to quit my job to make this really work. Now, I'm not saying for you to do that. However, he made that decision to do that. And guess what? Nothing really changed. Why? Because even though he had more free time, he wasn't exactly having the skill set yet in order to do it. But that's why getting themselves out there, you start building those skills, you start building out of that comfort zone. And eventually, what they don't really say in that story is that over those 4 years he was building that business, it took him about 2 years to create success. It wasn't really talking about the culture that was being built around. So the more that other people started becoming successful, the more it got easier for him to build success. Have you ever heard people say, oh, if you were only there in the beginning of this company, that we didn't even have a PowerPoint. So many of those stories are out there. But they're all like, but thank goodness I stuck with it. Thank goodness. Why? Because now it's easier than ever. But now I override that entire organization. See, those are the kind of stories I love hearing, because it really parallels what we have going on here, except we are light years ahead. You don't have to worry about missing a check. You don't have to worry if the products are given. You don't have to worry about any of those things, and having free shipping and so on and so forth. So my mentor, the more he tried to do it, people were telling him, no, don't do it. No, stop, get a job again. And so he got a job at Olin Mills Photography. They gave him a car. He was making 6 figures, and that was a lot back in the day. But one day he said, you got to choose between your direct sales company or Olin Mills. And he said, you know what? I'm going to stick with that direct sales company, because he had faith in it. It was starting to get some checks and so on and so forth. And so the thing is, he kept doing it. He kept doing it. And one day he had no more money when it came to his credit cards and so on and so forth. However, he had a lot of faith. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just telling a story that really inspired me, that, no matter where you are right now, you are still light years ahead of what it might have been like back then. Because remember, back in the day, I was just reading this book by John Kalinch, God rest his soul. But he made this book before your first year in network marketing, which is a book that I highly recommend you get. The greatest book before your first year in network marketing was a book by a guy named John Kalinch, one of my favorite books before that book. And this was back in the day. And, essentially, he was basically saying the same things, is that, when you were starting to do calls back in the day, there wasn't a lot of cheap long distance. It was expensive to do those things. So of course, bills were a lot higher. People were spending a lot more money back in the day to do these kind of things. And so once he got involved, and once he got involved in going about this, oh, I just got an incredible story. Oh, wow. And I have another person. Hey, are you free to meet about Ion this weekend? Of course I am. I love getting those kind of texts. I love it. So, and then Eric sent me a great text. Apparently he's going to treat me out at Avra, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. So essentially what happened is that he kept on going, and he said this: because of the coded plan. The thing about the coded plan, it's a little bit of a delayed satisfaction, because you have to fight for those higher code. That's why I tell people, you got to get to master. You got to fight your way, get to icon. Once you get to icon, you got to start seeing these incredible checks coming in from everywhere, and so on and so forth. However, you got to get some space between you and master and icon. And then what happened over time is that suddenly people in his what we call open line code, let's say, for example, someone in his master and icon code, they started bringing in 1 or 2. Why? Because of the consistency that they were building upon that business. And the more consistent they got, his check jumped from $1,000 to $10,000 a month the next month. He couldn't believe it. He's like, how did this happen? It's because once he became the equivalent of icon, that though suddenly someone just blew up. And when you have those open lines and then it starts duplicating, because now that if you have 10 people working, suddenly it becomes 100 very quick. And those bonuses start adding up. His check jumped literally from 1,000 to 10,000 a month in a 30-day period. The next month was $14,000 a month. And by the end of the year, it was at $87,000 a month. I'm just saying this as an example that there's big money in the coated plan. You just got to do the work. And so after that, I think about a year or two later, he hit $1 million a month. I think he was in West Palm Beach in Florida. And then he got a call from Steve in the company. And he said, man, they're making now $1 million a month. And he said, I can't believe it. Only 3 years ago, I was struggling. People were telling me not to do anything else, get a real job and so on and so forth. And he was having panic attacks and he has maxed out credit cards and so on and so forth. And that's the beauty of it, is that the coded plan, when you keep doing first level, when you keep doing home meetings, it starts, once you're master and icon, the more you get to those coded ranks, and remember, they're permanent ranks, you're going to start seeing these incredible overrides. And as you're building T10, someone in a Beverly Hills or maybe in Arizona, Scottsdale, or if you're in Vegas, Summerlin, maybe you're in Wyoming, Jackson Hole, someone's going to come in and blow up the Ion Skin. Why? Because to them, buying a ton of product, maybe it's $1,000 worth of skincare, that's nothing. They go to Macy's, they go to Neiman Marcus, needless markup. They go to Rodeo Drive, and they're like, oh yeah, this is what I buy anyway. Once again, if that weren't true, LVMH wouldn't be up there with Tesla. It wouldn't be up there with Nvidia. It wouldn't be having record profits. Sometimes we have to look beyond direct sales and look at the marketplace and if that's just the way the economy is going. So if you're not in the economy that you want to be, Ion is your pathway to become and go into the economy that you desire. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. Ion, this magical cup right here, I can't wait till I have it in the Ion skin colors. I love those Ion skin colors. It makes me feel so luxurious. And I'm preparing right now. See, if you notice, I'm constantly talking about it. I'm talking about Ion. Why? Because people might, if anyone unfriends me because I'm talking too much about Ion, then guess what? They probably shouldn't have been in my life anyway. Sometimes we have to unfollow people in real life. We got to have people who are on the same pathway as us, so that way we can live the life that we've always desired. A lot of people want to be with us when we win, but where were they when we were not winning? You see, that's the key, or when we were building up that foundation. So that's why as you can tell, I'm getting excited. And it's showing here. The T10 products have changed my life. My health has improved phenomenally. I take a lot of the beetroot. I've been taking a lot of the beetroot. And anytime I take some bad food and so on and so forth, I take the cleanse and I feel right as rain. And anytime I do, I always have cleanse around it. The thing is, our ecosystem is completely blowing me away. Why? Because we're still a young company. If you really think about it, we're really a young company. And the more that I see it, the more I see reflections of the stories that I've seen. There's this big $1 billion skincare company, and they say, you know what? We were selling goop out of our basement. And I was like, wow, what a story. I probably wouldn't have joined your company at that time, but we're not selling goop out of a basement. Guess what? We are having high quality premium products from the T10 to the Ion Skin. And the Ion Skin really is going to get us into that ultra luxe market that, if you're in California, you got that Orange County. If you're there in Miami, you got, over there in Miami Beach, you can have these markets and so on and so forth. And so everyone's going to have their niche. Some will want the T10, the Ion Savings. Hey, I love working out. I want to run up the mountains, and we'll have that. And it'll also support the ultra luxe market. So we'll have two incredible divisions. And quite frankly, that's all we really need at this point. Why? Because once that branding is out there, it's going to be a company that you are just so proud to be a part of. I'm already proud to be a part of Ion, but you're going to be so proud to see us at these high fashion places. You want to be able to put your Ion skin products next to your high fashion stuff. And if you're not into that, guess what? We got Ion Savings with the T10 products. You could be out there in the desert running up Red Rock Mountain over in Las Vegas or somewhere else in the country, and you're just you just love being a rough rider and doing those things. That's why I love these two divisions, is because they are separate but the same. And those two divisions work hand in hand. We're excited to have Ion Skin at the events, at the pageant coming up in a month. You know, we're going to have the logos and the step and repeat. So we want to have pictures all over the place. And remember, everyone wants to be there when everyone is winning, but the ones who make the most money, the ones who create a legacy, the ones who, like my mentor, like the Jordans and the Pauls, the ones that I'm talking about, they started in situations just like this. And now, like my mentor Jordan, I watch him on Instagram, I watch him on the Facebook. He's living a life that I want to live 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And it's phenomenal. Why? Because I see it with Ion. I see it. Can you see it with Ion? Because if you don't, you got to give me a call. You know, I get excited. You know what gets you excited? Action. Action creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. You know why? If you're not excited, you need to invite more people to do a call with me. If you're worried to do a call, let's do a group chat on Messenger. Let's do a text message. Let's do something. You know, some action is better than nothing. If as long as you're introducing, and even if you're falling forward, I would say this: go for no. The more no's you create, the better. Imagine that. You know, I had one guy, I remember, that he just could not have the feeling of rejection, and it was incredible. And he hit the first 2 or 3 ranks extremely fast. Why? Because he didn't care that people were saying no. He was always going for no. And that's the same kind of philosophy you gotta have, is that it doesn't matter really the pricing, the things like that. Of course, the great advantages. However, if we are comparable in the marketplace, if we have something special, it's really how much we are selling ourselves as a person. And if it's not up to us, it's up to how much we're edifying the leadership. This is why, once again, the home meetings are important. Going through training is important. And finally, the STAR program is absolutely important. I am excited for, you know, Ion Skin and all those things happening, but all that stuff, all that momentum, guess what? Guess who's gonna have the most Ion Skin sales? It's those who are building into Ion right now. It's those who are purchasing product and sampling right now. Those are the people who are going to not only be ahead, but win big. And so when it comes to these kind of products, you got to understand that STAR program is phenomenal. Why? Because for every star you create, guess what? For every master you create, you get another star. So not only will your people be recognized, but you will be recognized as well. I want Edgar to become a new star. I want some of the people who are coming back, I want them to become stars. Why? Because the more I create stars under myself, guess what? The more I'm going to be promoted, and the more other people. And guess what? Every time you get promoted and we post it on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, more people are going to message you. What's going on with that Ion thing? You promoted again? Oh my gosh. Now you have this Ultra Lux Ion Skin product out there. Oh, that's phenomenal. Oh, you're in Beverly Hills at Avra or in Miami Beach, and you have those products there. What paid for that? Oh, you know, let me just take out my orange Ion debit card out there and pay for this bill. You know, that's what's exciting. I want you to envision those things. And part of that visioning is programming yourself now. If you're on Facebook, mute all the negative stuff. If you're on Instagram, mute all that. You just got to see wins, 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 and positive people. You got to program yourself for success. You got to listen to Jim Rohn. If you haven't done it yet, do it now. JIMROHN, building your network marketing business. Listen to 5 minutes of Jim Rohn. I guarantee you're going to start getting addicted. The more that you put yourself into that mindset, and then you get really passionate and believe in Ion and believe in the product, and the more that you grab, if you haven't gotten some Ion gear, get some Ion gear, y'all. We need some Ion gear. I can't wait to have my full suit on, my blue suit with a blue Ion skin and then the logo in the middle, and be out there. But why? Because I want to go out there and work it. I want to be in front of rooms. I want to be in front of your rooms. When you have 100 people in the room, I want to be in front of those rooms. Those are the kind of things that I want to do for you guys. And with that, guys, I want to say this. I'm very proud of all of you. You guys know the blueprint that we have. Let us make sure that we are making this an incredible life, because we have one incredible life. We want to make sure that we're going for no, that we're exposing everyone. And don't think negatively. You never know. The people you think that will do it won't. The people you think won't do it will sometimes. But you know what? Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's always waiting. And these products, someone wants it. It's just a matter of us promoting it with reckless abandon. So from the bottom of my heart, from all the corporate team, from Eric Caparisi, Batting a Holcomb, Holly Canfield, Fabricio Pacheco, and everyone, I commend you for being on this training every week. I can't wait. We're going to continue to go. Team Florida, you are incredible. Team Wisconsin, you're incredible. Team Michigan, thank you for everything. I mean, for everyone who is participating in this, we have to keep going with reckless abandon. I appreciate you all, and get ready for some more intense announcements in the next few weeks. Make sure you get onto the Wednesday night call as well. I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys, and God bless.